The queen ordered her warrior to humiliate him, but after losing, marriage was her punishment. Phi. Hello, everyone. Today, we're going to see how a warrior was humiliated by the queen after he lost a fight against his rival. If you like this story, please leave a thumbs up and share it with your friends. Also, don't forget to subscribe for more of these awesome stories. Her subjects were constantly complaining about how expensive everything had become. Among them was the most valiant and powerful warrior of the queen's royal guard, Sir Leonidas. He was also the most handsome, with tousled brown hair, bright blue eyes, and muscles that seemed to bulge out of his tunic. He held Valen's head close to the ground and pressed his blade against his throat. "Say goodbye, Valen," he said, enjoying the fear he saw in his rival's eyes. "I ordered you to fight, and fight you did. But why have you not killed each other yet?" All eyes turned to Leonidas, who had his sword still at his fallen rival's throat. "I could have killed him many times over," Leonidas said, "but you ordered us to fight until one of us died." In fact, he secretly had to admit that marrying Valen wasn't such a bad idea. "It seems that we are both in your debt, Valen," Leonidas said, winking at his rival. "If it weren't for me, you would have been dead long ago. And if it weren't for you, I wouldn't be marrying the most beautiful woman in the world." Valen smiled back, understanding exactly what Leonidas meant. "We'll have to celebrate properly once we're done with the wedding," he said with a wink. "That might be true, but we should still be careful." "Come on, Leonidas, admit it. You were scared when I entered the arena that day. They were the most powerful couple in the land, and no one dared oppose them." As for Queen Isolde, she never realized that she had been outwitted by her own warriors. She spent her days organizing new festivals and events and having fun. She was too busy to notice that Leonidas and Valen were secretly plotting to take over the kingdom. But that's a story for another time. Leonidas looked into Valen's eyes and saw nothing but amusement there. They had proven their love for each other in the most spectacular way imaginable. The queen had ordered her warrior to humiliate his rival, but after losing, marriage was his punishment. And now they were going to enjoy the fruits of their labor. Of course I was scared. What kind of man wouldn't be scared to fight someone as powerful as you? Also, don't forget to subscribe for more of these awesome stories. It wouldn't be a difficult task to get rid of the queen after he got married. "Only a coward," he whispered, and Leonidas knew that Valen was right. That day in the arena had been the biggest challenge of his life, and he had faced it with fear, but he had overcome his fear and emerged victorious. And now he was sharing the spoils of war with his lover. Now no one would even remember that she had ordered the death of her greatest warrior, and the two most powerful men in the kingdom would be occupied with something else. She could already imagine how amused her ancestors would be if they knew that their descendant was scheming in the same way as them. Then he could rule the kingdom with an iron fist alongside his beloved husband. During the feast, he kept winking at Valen, who responded with a mischievous grin. "Well, that went well," Leonidas said with a smile. Valen nodded. "Too well. If the queen finds out that we tricked her, we'll have to flee the kingdom." Leonidas threw himself on the bed. "Don't worry. She won't find out anything. Not only am I the most valiant warrior in her army, but I am also her husband. She won't dare do anything to me." They both knew that they had tricked the queen, but they didn't care. They were happy to be married to each other. So he readily agreed to marry Valen, much to the surprise of everyone present. "I didn't want to kill him outside the arena, so I brought him here." The queen nodded curtly. "Then kill him right now." But before he could end his opponent's life, something unexpected happened. "But my queen," he began, but the queen raised her hand to silence him. "So as punishment, I hereby declare that you will marry the man you failed to kill." Leonidas looked at Valen, who was slowly getting up from the ground. Did the queen really mean what she said? That was impossible. He thought the queen despised him, and that was clear from the way she treated him like the scum of the earth. There was no way she would allow him to marry her most valiant warrior. Kill him, or I will hold you responsible for the loss of our best warrior. Leonidas looked from the queen to Valen and back again. Finally, he dropped his sword and kneeled before the queen. You are right, my queen. I failed. The second most powerful warrior in the kingdom, Sir Valen, was present as well. The horn signaled that the fight must come to a stop. Both men stopped and looked towards the queen. Leonidas still had his sword at Valen's throat, but he knew that he had to listen to the queen's orders. Everyone knew of his rivalry with Leonidas. Their fights were legendary, with neither man ever able to defeat the other. And since she couldn't just wave a magic wand to make the economy better, she decided to organize a grand festival in the city square. It would be a huge diversion that would keep people's minds off their problems for a few days. She wanted to call the strongest warriors in her kingdom to participate in a fighting competition. This would be the main event of the festival. The queen is in crisis. How can she make her people forget their distress? She needs an excellent distraction, and she thinks that she has found one. When the two warriors heard the queen's request, they agreed to fight to the death. The crowd went wild. For hours, the two men fought fiercely, parrying blows and thrusting their weapons at each other. They were evenly matched, so the battle raged on and on. Neither of them could land a fatal blow. She will order her most powerful warrior to bring her the head of his greatest rival. But the warrior isn't as invincible as he appears to be. And when he returns without the head of his rival, the queen will punish him in the most humiliating way possible. Let's get started. The great Queen Isaura had a problem. The greatest warriors from all around the realm came to compete in the tournament. When the queen saw both of them enter the arena, she felt a surge of excitement. Maybe this time there would be a winner. Finally, when the sun began its slow descent toward the horizon, signaling the end of the day, Sir Leonidas managed to get the upper hand and disarmed his opponent. Queen Isolde sent a horn blast echoing through the stadium. The sound was loud enough to startle even the bravest warriors. The queen had made her decision. Why have you two disgraced yourselves before me? The queen asked, her voice echoing across the silent stadium. No one dared speak. Leonidas looked at his queen, bewildered. Indeed you did, the queen said coldly. Yet when Leonidas looked into the queen's eyes, he saw that she was serious, and there was nothing he could do to change her mind. And while the wedding preparations were underway, Leonidas approached his future husband with a sly smile on his face. Meanwhile, Queen Isolde was having her own thoughts. She couldn't wait to see those two warriors get married. It was the perfect solution to her problem. The wedding was magnificent. The entire kingdom was invited and everyone celebrated as if it were their own wedding. It was exactly as Leonidas had predicted. As the celebration drew to a close, the newlyweds took their leave of the queen and retired to their chambers. Valen got into bed next to Leonidas and wrapped his arm around his waist. Valen leaned in and kissed Leonidas on the lips. From then on, the two warriors ruled the kingdom together. Today, their marriage was all that mattered. Thanks for watching. Please leave a thumbs up and share it with your friends if you liked this story.